American in the early 1920s. So now let's begin with me through the entertainment during 1920s. 1920s was a happy decade. Life was full of enjoyment like singing, dancing, and drinking, as you see in the picture. Entertainment played an important role in the lives of people because so many people were working and workers want to relax. There were three entertainments which were very popular in that time. The first one is phonograph. According to Pop Culture of 20th Century American book, phonograph invented by Thomas Edison in 1877. It was cheap, most people could afford it. It is possible to reproduce sound and record sound by using cylinders. Phonographs were also called record players. It was popular with people in rural areas because they lived too far away to attend the live music concert. Furthermore, phonograph gave birth to the modern recording industry. Without it, there would not be any cassette tapes, compact discs, or digital MP3s. The second one is dime novel. According to American History Through Literature book, dime novels first used in 1864. It told about the stories of adventure, mystery, and romance. It wrote under a very strict guideline. Writers were instructed to make people exciting, entertainment, and moral. The number of pages were from 32 to 250 and had covers of color paper. The most common color was yellow, but sometimes also black and white. The cost was cheap, around 10 cents. It was cheap because it printed on a low quality paper. That's why it took advantage of the growing number of readers. The last one is vaudeville. According to Pop Culture of 20th Century American book, vaudeville was a main entertainment in the United States. Vaudeville means the voice of the city, came from French word. Vaudeville came before the establishment of film, theater, movie, and television. It is a form of variety theater. It consisted of groups of diverse performers, including singers, dancers, actors, comedians, animal acts, and magicians. Nearly every actor in the beginning of the century performed at vaudeville. Each show was around 12 minutes long. The opening acts would be silent with a musical background. It marketed mainly to family audience. At the end of 1920s was the end of vaudeville, as the audience taste changed. And that's all for the entertainment in 1920s. Thank you.
According to book Pictorial History of America by editor Baldwin Ward. Education. A rapid population growth and of transportation improved changed the little red schools into the modern educational institutions. A constantly widening program offered a number of new subjects. Courses in practical education such as industrial arts, domestic science, and commercial subjects are some well known among them. Education trends in 1920s were being shaped by the revolutionary teaching methods of John Dewey. He insists that the principal aim of education should be socially useful adults educate for life. His interest in the social aims of education found many a supporter. Dewey's book, Democracy and Education, published in 1916, set forth the thesis that democratic value should permeate the entire education process and that it was one of the functions of teachers to instill those ideas in the young. Dewey's philosophy of placing the emphasis upon the child rather than upon the subject matter was highly controversial at the time, and the arguments over his methods raged well past mid-century. During the first fifth of the 20th century, enrollment at institutions of higher learning tripled. A large part of growth came from the development and popularization of the junior college. Rising standards in the professional education put pressure upon universities to lengthen prescribed courses. The junior college was conceived as an in-between level for those who wanted to go beyond high school, but who did not want to enter a professional school or to spend 4 years studying the liberal arts. Medicine. Medical research made enormous strides in the United States in the 20 years preceding World War II. The little-known subject of heredity was greatly clarified by the discoveries of Thomas Morgan, who won the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine for his theory that hereditary characteristics are dependent on factors, genes, and chromosomes. Dr. Harry Cushing was a pioneer of neurosurgery and neurology, provided brain tumors could be removed successfully, and did early research on functions and disorders of pituitary glands. Also an author of note, Cushing won the Pulitzer Prize in 1925 for his Life of Sir William Osler, wrote many books on medical subjects. In the realm of biology, Dr. Ross Harrison's studies of tissue culture and peripheral nerves opened the way of the miracles of plastic surgery. Dr. Edward Kendall first gained recognition for his work with hormones in adrenal and thyroid glands, later discovered cortisone used in the treatment of arthritis. He and another American, Dr. Philip Hench, were co-winners of the 1950 Nobel Prize for Medicine for their studies of hormones.
According to the website of the United States Department of Labor Bureau of Labor Statistics, the 20th century was a remarkable period of the time for the American workers, as the wage rose, fringe benefits grew, and the working conditions improved because of the industrialism that was growing largely in the United States after the Civil War, 1861 to 1865. The size of the nation's workforce increased roughly six-fold during the 20th century. The workforce registered 24 million in 1900, with those aged 10 and above reporting a gainful occupation. Over the course of the 20th century, the composition of the labor force shifted from industries dominated primarily by production occupation such as farms and forests to those dominated by professional, technical, and service works. Child labor was common at the turn of the century, and many families needed the income earned by their children to survive. The census in 1900 counted 1,075,000 individuals aged 10 to 15 who were gainful workers. At this time, the children comprised 6% of the workforce. In 1900, no law existed which governed child labor. Finally, in 1938, the Fair Labor Standards Act passed regulating child labor. In 1900, the following statistics are important to note. The average work week in manufacturing was 53 hours. Almost 1,500 workers were killed in coal mines accidents, and 2,550 railroad workers were killed. It is estimated that just 15% of workers' injuries on the job were successful in obtaining compensation under law. Female participation in the workforce grew from 15% in 1900 to 60% in 1999. Only 5% unemployment exists. The life expectancy of a newborn was 47.3 years. 80% of American children had a working father and a stay-at-home mother. The population at the beginning of the century was 76 million, but approached to 280 million by the end of the century. America has primarily been founded by immigrants. Immigration was crucial to the development of the United States economy and the workplace in the 20th centuries. In the 20th century, new machines were introduced in the homes, like a refrigerator, dishwasher, clothes washers, dryers, irons, vacuum cleaner, microwave ovens, automatic ovens, toaster, electric razors, and electric hair dryers. The changes between today and the 20th century were in technology, capital, demography, immigration, education, and government intervention.